Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, a jury member in the Arthur Colley trial speaks out after the quick guilty verdict.
Plus, tomorrow is a first alert weather day. Our team is tracking severe storms.
And a fall staple is almost ready for a successful harvest. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. New tonight at 6, we're hearing from a juror in the Arthur Colley case and what went on in deliberations to come to 3 guilty verdicts yesterday, including the murder of 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson in a Fargo strip mall parking lot last June.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley sat down with the juror today and has our story you'll only see here on Valley News Live.
It took less than 2 hours for 12 jurors to agree on not 1 but 3 guilty verdicts for 23-year-old Arthur Colley.
It came down to really not guilty by lack of criminal responsibility or guilty.
Counselors and Colley's sister testified in the days and weeks prior to the murder of Jupiter Paulson, Colley's mental health was getting worse. And in an interview with police, Colley said he smoked meth the day before the attack and admitted he sometimes talks to himself. All things Colley's defense argued made Colley not understand what happened in the early morning hours of June 4th, 2021.
Obviously, something's not right here, but you know, does it rise to the level of the guy had no idea what he was doing?
Desjardins, who is the operations manager at Valley News Live, said for him, the state's timeline of events after the murder, as well as the video of the assault, were the proverbial smoking guns, and said Colley's defense didn't do enough to prove something is actually mentally wrong with Colley.
They didn't have a psychologist or a psychiatrist who evaluated him come in and say, yeah, this individual has a serious mental problem.
After more than an hour of discussion, Desjardins says an informal poll was taken and all 12 hands raised to find Colley guilty. And soon enough, they were delivering that verdict to the courtroom. A verdict Desjardins says he feels good about.
I think justice was served.
Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Arthur Colley will be sentenced later this year, if not in early 2023. He faces a maximum of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors say that's the sentence they'll be pushing for.
Our storm team is doing something they haven't done in quite some time, issuing a first alert weather day for tomorrow. Summer is in with a first look. Summer?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's been about a month since our last first alert weather day. It had been a very busy summer until about the last month. We've really quieted things down until this week, where we've turned a lot more unsettled. Tomorrow, we could see potential for some severe weather returning to our forecast. For tonight, some good old-fashioned rain, dark skies. You can see those lower hanging clouds in Devil's Lake on our home of Economy Skycam. And let's get a look in right now at satellite and radar as that rain continues to lift to the north. Grand Forks saw a few sprinkles a couple of hours ago. That's all now lifting to the north. Thief River Falls, the rain moving out of your neck of the woods. New Fulton seeing some light showers at this time. Areas like the far northern valley up into Hallock, that's where we're still seeing that ongoing lingering rain as it very, very slowly continues to lift to the north into Canada. Fog has been an issue through the day as well. It's been stubborn. Visibility still at 2 miles right now in Bemidji, 3 miles in Langdon, 4 mile visibility in Devil's Lake, down around 2.5 mile visibility in Hallock. And we've been cool today as well, feeling very fall-like, 50s and 60s. The coolest where you see these green shades, 55 in Devil's Lake, 54 in Langdon. 59 right now in Langdon and in Jamestown, 63 in Fargo and Detroit Lakes, with the 70s down farther to the south. Here tonight in Fargo, we are going to stay dry but overcast. A little bit of clearing overnight before thunderstorm potential returns for tomorrow, prompting that first alert weather day. Not for all of us, but for some. I'll time out when and where here in just a little bit.
All right. Thanks so much, Summer.
Vandals struck at Maplewood Park in West Fargo. Several areas of the inclusive park were marked with spray paint. Cleanup crews with the Park District handled most of it today. They say they're hoping to get to the rest of it soon. The park finished renovations in April and included an inclusive and accessible playground with rubber surfacing. West Fargo police are looking into who did it.
Elections are coming up, but there are some important dates you need to remember. On September 29th, absentee ballots will be available. They should be arriving the first week of October. If you applied but haven't gotten one by the 12th, contact the finance office. October 16th is the last suggested day to mail an application to the finance office. Make sure your mail-in vote is postmarked for November 7th. And finally, November 8th, the vote center locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Traffic is flowing again. It was down to just one lane on a stretch of road off 52nd Avenue near Walmart in South Fargo today. A gravel truck carrying a full load tipped on its side while turning to go south on 38th Street. The driver, who was uninjured, told Valley News Live that it might have been loaded to one side, causing it to tip. The truck is one of several taking loads to a nearby field for future use. It was expected to take about an hour for the truck to be uprighted and that mess cleaned up.
The average driver in North Dakota would expect more than $6,000 cash payment from the government if they were forced to switch to an electric car. That's according to a study by Volkswagen. Half of those respondents think it's a good idea for the government to offer cash incentives to encourage people to switch over from gas-powered vehicles, but only 1 in 10 support the idea of banning them. More than half say despite steps toward more sustainable alternatives, they don't think the evolution of electric is happening fast enough to help combat climate change.
The U.S. Department of Transportation awarded $467,000 to NDSU and Highway Patrol in the state. NDSU is going to use the money for research to improve safe driver operations among large trucks and vehicles moving around them. It's through an education program that this will be done. The Highway Patrol will be using their portion on a project to ensure enforcement and desk personnel have accurate and timely information in carrier and vehicle statutes.
Today, 297 schools across the country were chosen as National Blue Ribbon Schools for 2022. The recognition is based on a school's overall academic performance or progress in closing achievement gaps. The North Dakota schools that were named as National Blue Ribbon Schools are Roosevelt Elementary School in Bismarck, Larimore Elementary, and Linton Public School.
As you make your plans for the weekend, remember that tomorrow at 5, we're going to be airing a new episode of Rides with Jay Thomas. If you can't catch it then, try KXJB Channel 4 on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. You can also find it on connected TVs via Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Just download and launch the VNL app for your TV. The show will also be available on the website rideswithjthomas.tv.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, after last year brought hardships, this year is looking great for the apple harvest.
Must have had some decent rainfall over the last 48 hours. Hardest hit in parts of northern Minnesota, where radar estimates between 2 and 4 inches. And a report from Liz in Thief River Falls, right around 3.5 inches of rainfall. And there's more rain on the way. First alert weather day for your Saturday. We have your hour-by-hour forecast coming up next.
This is Valley News Live.